The fans of monster truck racing are out in force in the Palmetto State. As sore muscles tend to lesser-known carnage behind the scenes, the monster truck faithful have come out in droves for the championship fight. From the Piedmont Interstate Fair in Spartanburg, South Carolina, it's round 6, show 2 of the 2022 All-Star Monster Truck Tour Championship Series. Another great crowd, another beautiful afternoon for monster truck competition. All 5 of our competitors have completed Best Trick competition. We'll be showing you the highlights here in just a moment as they get ready to go into round number 1 of racing. That'll be coming up in just a little bit, but before we get to today's action, we're going to show you how we got to today. Here is yesterday's highlights, and the winner in the Best Trick competition came in number 2 in points. That's the Packer Fastener Get Her Done and Brandon Toluchka. Right here, he would briefly take over the points lead with that Best Trick victory, but the guy who was leading points coming into show number 1 of this round 6 event was the man in white, Buddy Tompkins in Raisin Cane. He would, however, have to battle it out right here with his own teammate, Jack Brown, who is representing Corey Snyder in Toxic at this event, who had a prior engagement. And Jack Brown would put a hurting on Buddy Tompkins here, definitely playing spoiler. Not what Tompkins was looking for, but he didn't expect Jack to lay down for him at all. He came into freestyle in the hot seat, and as he always tries to, he laid down a classic, but there was a lot more behind this one as he was trying to make up points. It was an awesome way to close out yesterday's action, tearing the body up, getting some massive hang time, and he knew he was going to have to lay down a good run to keep himself on top in points. As I said, he came in 1 point up on Brandon Toluchka. He would go out of yesterday's action 1 point up on Brandon Toluchka as they both put 48 points on the board. They tied for the overall event points. The overall event win, though, going to Raisin Cane with a higher freestyle score, and that 1 point gap stays the same. But they both put a few more points up on Team Toxic because Jack Brown had so much trouble yesterday in his freestyle competition. They've been working all night to get that truck back in action. And then you see Miss Get Her Done, Michaela Toluchka, and the newcomer Jamie Sullivan in the FTI Torque Ram rounding out the field for the 2022 All-Star Monster Truck Tour Championship Series. Now we're going to take you into today's Best Trick highlights. The top 3 right now. Raisin Cane, Buddy Tompkins, starting things off. He had trouble getting the stoppies yesterday. He had more trouble today. The dirt is slick and his tires have a real hard compound. Buddy getting very, very upset with this truck not doing what he wants it to. His right foot is getting heavier and heavier the more ticked off he gets. It's definitely showing, but a good score nonetheless with a score of 6 as he whips up the dust on the top end of the track. Now, the spoiler, Jack Brown up to DeLand, Florida. He would come out right after Buddy and have some similar problems. Not able to get the stoppie out full force like he wanted to. He, however, would also make it up with the donuts, ripping up more sod on the other end of the track, also posting a 6. It went to a cheer-off. Jack Brown won the cheer-off, so his 6 would stand as number 1. He would end up taking the Best Trick victory, but right here is very important. Brandon Toluchka coming in number 2 in points to this event, needed the points. A rear steering failure, a ball switch going away on that truck did not allow him to do the 2-wheel moves he was trying to, and that hurt his score only by 1 point. But now he is down 2 points from Buddy Tompkins and Raisin Cane. So he's watching that lead slip away ever so slowly. However, he's not out of the conversation by a long shot because we have racing coming up. That'll be coming your way next. We're just getting started here in the Palmetto State. Stay with us with the All-Star Monster Truck Tour.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Monsters Monthly, For up-to-date info, media, and all your other monster truck needs, visit monstersmonthly.com. And by RPM Army. For a wide array of content from across the motorsports world, visit rpmarmy.com, your high-performance fix on the go. This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Crush This. For a look inside the world of monster trucks, check out Crush This, Monster Truck Podcast.
Getting ready for round number 1, monster truck racing action here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. The Piedmont Interstate Fair hosting round 6 of the overall tour, this being show number 2. The points are as tight as ever. As we take a look at the bracket, the Packer Fastener Get Her Done out of Wisconsin taking on the FTI Torque Machine out of Florida. And then the Florida Exterminator taking on the Wisconsin Miss Get Her Done. And you can see Raising Cane drew the bye in the blind draw at the pre-show drivers meeting now as we get ready to stage our first pairing. Brandon Tolochka, who is currently sitting second in points, 2 outside of the top spot. He'd love to make that up here in the racing bracket and continue that momentum on through freestyle as he takes on the newcomer Jamie Sullivan out of Christmas, Florida in the FTI Torque Ram. Tolochka with a great start and a beautiful first turn. Maybe a little bobble down there. There's a lot of moisture in that spot. And look at that. Sullivan actually had a little lead on him. She started very tentative, but looks like she's moving now. However, with the lead that she just gave up in that final corner, Brandon Tolochka will pick up the victory. The Packer Fastener Ford moving on into the semi-final round. Got to tip your hat to Sullivan, though, looking good here today, not struggling the way she did yesterday. She also had rear steering problems. A ball switch went on her truck, just like it did on Brandon's in the best trick competition. Hers went in the first round of racing, however, made it very hard to make these left-hand turns as our second pair comes to the line. Michaela Tolochka in the Get Her Done dent side Ford, Miss Get Her Done to be exact, out of Kewanee, Wisconsin, taking on the spoiler Jack Brown and the Exterminator representing Team Toxic. Good start for Tolochka. Brown got to the turn a lot quicker, but she came off the line in a hurry. Giving up a little bit right there as something going wrong. She got back on the throttle. I'm not sure if the tires were spinning or what, but Jack Brown will pick up another racing victory, and a very convincing one at that, over Michaela Tolochka in the Miss Get Her Done dent side Ford. However, it looks like she will be drawn as the fast loser there as Jamie Sullivan heads back to the pits with problems, so it'll be the Packer Fastener Ford taking on the Miss Get Her Done Ford, all in the family there in our first pairing, and then a pair of teammates and a rematch of our championship race from day number 1, the Exterminator taking on Raising Cane. Jack Brown and Buddy Tompkins going at it again. We'll see if Tompkins can gain a little revenge for yesterday's action as the fans look on. Getting into semifinal round racing, as I said, all in the family. Brandon Tolochka taking on Michaela Tolochka. The Kewanee, Wisconsin-based Fords going nose to nose here in the semifinal round. Good start for both trucks. Into the first corner, she got there quicker, but look at the beautiful turn that Brandon Tolochka just made. And a huge leap for Michaela. Final corner, she was looking good, but bobbled coming out, and Brandon Tolochka will head to the championship race. Who will he face? This could end up being the most important pair of races, this next semifinal round and this championship race, depending on how it goes down. As you look underneath of the Raising Cane Ram rolling out of the pit area, Jack Brown coming to the line. Buddy Tompkins has got to win this round right now to try to keep Brandon Tolochka from gaining any on him. Keep in mind, though, Jack Brown beat him yesterday in the championship race. That's got to be playing into Buddy's mind right now. And again, they're on a slicker track than they were yesterday. There's some water that's made its way up to the surface here that will not soak back down. So it's a little bit slick because it's wet in some spots, and it's slick because it's dry in some spots. So it's a very uneven course. And you can see the problems for Jack Brown when he came off the starting line, and looking underneath, you get a good look at the difference in the track surfaces. Buddy Tompkins sliding out, but it's a close race. Into the final leg, Buddy Tompkins with the lead and a high-flying victory for the Raising Cane Ram. He could not afford to lose that one, and he didn't. It will be your top two in points. Buddy Tompkins taking on Brandon Tolochka. Raising Cane and the Packer Fastener Ford. Another look at this run from underneath. And again, as I say, you can see the uneven track surface. It's dry there, and then you can see the wet spots as they move through. A huge leap across the finish line. And you can see Jack Brown was coming on him there at the end, but it wasn't quite enough as they head back toward the starting line. Nose to nose in front of the grandstands. Second in points, Brandon Tolochka in the Packer Fastener Ford out of the state of Wisconsin, taking on that guy right there, your points leader, Buddy Tompkins in Raising Cane, the Ram out of Deltona, Florida, being driven by the gentleman out of Geneva, Florida. We will see who can take the #1 spot in this racing bracket, the championship on the line. Again, as I said, this was a very important pair of races. This run right here could be a deciding factor in the championship. Tolochka with a little bit of a lead off the start. Pulling hard, Buddy Tompkins now takes over the lead into the final corner. Goes a little bit wide, has the counter, and Brandon Tolochka picks up a very, very important racing victory here at show #2 of round 6 of the 2022 All-Star Monster Truck Tour Championship Series. That has got to be a tremendous morale boost to that team. They've been struggling a little bit here today. Both trucks with a very good start, but I have to believe, and this is taking nothing away from Buddy, but Tolochka had a better pair of corners. Right here, this final turn, Buddy had a great first corner, but that final turn bit him, and when he slid out, Brandon Tolochka took full advantage of it, got the drive off of the final corner, and took the truck to victory. Another look at the run from underneath of Raising Cane, and you'll see the dark spots on the track. That is where there's a lot of moisture in this very bright red soil here in South Carolina. Right there, he gets into the wet stuff, a little bit into the marbles out there, and once he started sliding toward that barricade, there was nothing he could do. Your winner, Brandon Tolochka, now heading up toward the grandstand to talk to the All-Star Monster Truck Tour's own Chuck Plumley.
This is yours, my friend. You earned major points. You're that much closer to taking over the overall point standings, but we still have All-Star Freestyle still to go.
Well, yeah, freestyles I messed with wheelies a little bit. My ball switch broke my rear steer. We got that fixed, already burned off, you guys.
You love when you can see the checker flags waving. That's when you guys go wild and crazy.
Oh yeah, when them checker flags are waving, we're gonna hit that big jump wide open for you guys. So wave them flags and see it.
There you go. Make some noise.
You heard him mention the ball switch taking him out of best trick competition. He is ready to make that up here. He's got a lot of built-up emotion from that racing victory. We'll see if it translates to freestyle. That's coming up next. The 2022 All-Star Monster Truck Tour Championship Series continuing action here in Spartanburg, South Carolina, round 6, show number 2. Checking out how the points look coming into freestyle after the rest of today's competition. You can see Raising Cane sitting down with 3 points up on the Packer Fastener Ford, but the momentum that Buddy Tompkins had was seized just a little bit with that racing victory by Brandon Toluchka, and they're both moving away from Team Toxic right now with those final round appearances. Then it's the Miss Getter Done and FTI Torque Machine still sitting down in the 200-point range, but again, they are not out of the conversation. They could wreak major havoc, and both of them could still move up into the #1 spot, but it would take quite a performance. Right now, Michaela Toluchka trying to show she definitely has that in her as she starts things off on freestyle with some nice hang time off some very, very steep race ramps. Getting warmed up as she's looking to make up for yesterday's troubles. Again, did not get the performance she was looking for. In fact, missed best trick competition, which hurt her immensely in the points. Had a transmission getting hot on her yesterday as well during freestyle. A lot of smoke off of that front brake rotor. She may be riding those right now, but she is doing a nice job. We'll see what she has for the crowd here in Spartanburg in that beautiful dent side Ford, sponsored by Packer Fastener out of Kewanee, Wisconsin, kicking up the dust here on a Sunday afternoon in the Palmetto State. Maybe searching a little bit right now. She needs to get to an obstacle, but it's always easier said than done. That's coming from somebody who has never taken the wheel of one of these trucks. No judgments here. We'll see what she's got, though. As she heads into the outfield, I have a feeling she's going to be taking on the biggest obstacle on this track. Going for the rocket ramp, a nice leap and a hard landing right there. Again, a lot of smoke off of the front brakes. Working this track as best she can right now. Again, they just walk in. She is dusting down the grooves over here under the canopy. Little karmic retribution for that comment I just made about her searching. She's throwing rocks and stuff over here, but Michaela Toluchka turning the fans on and definitely laying down a strong run. She's had some spectacular moments this year. Take nothing away from her. She's grown leaps and bounds in the time she's been behind the wheel and is looking awesome here this afternoon at the wheel of the Miss Getter Done dent side Ford out of the Dairy State. Big leap right there with a flag coming off the pole in the back of that truck. A score of 20, not a bad start to freestyle. These guys are going to have to push to get another win here. You can't come out and roll the truck over early or break in one hit. You're going to have to ride out the clock. Up next, the FTI Torque Ramp. Jamie Sullivan, who had one hit in freestyle yesterday, she said not today. She plans on laying down an awesome run in this beautiful black Ram out of Deltona, Florida. Big hit right there off the back of the race lane. May have wanted to grab a slap wheelie, but she was pointed at that K-rail, very wisely backed out of the throttle. Let the front end settle down. She is really improving every time we see her. Look at that leap. Hard landing on the rear end, pitched her over on the nose. That could have been a catastrophe, but the truck soaked it up. Jamie Sullivan turning them on in the FTI Torque Ram. Working her way into the outfield. She's getting back here behind the equipment where we can't see her, but definitely not afraid of that loud pedal. Again, just started driving monster trucks professionally this year for this Raising Cane Monster Trucks team based out of Deltona, Florida. Jamie herself out of Christmas, Florida. Got her family here with her this weekend, and definitely looking to impress the fans here in Spartanburg. Going for the big air and a sideways landing. Kicking up some dust. It looks like she's tweaked the sway bars there as the truck's leaning hard to the left, and the rear steering doesn't look like it's going straight for her anymore. Still getting after it. Again, though, getting better week to week. Early on in this series, she put a hurting on some parts and doesn't seem to be having that problem too badly anymore. Definitely not landing in the throttle the way she was early on, but as we come in with our coverage here, it's great to see how daring she is to take on the obstacles as hard as she did. Look at this leap again, flying nose high over the race lanes. That right there could have broken some himes. You can very easily break a tie rod landing like that. She did not, though. The truck soaked it up, as I said, and flipped her forward in spectacular fashion, and then wrapping it up with some huge air off of the rocket ramp over here in the field. A score of 14, though. I'll tell you what, I think she was looking for a little more than that, but that is where she will end up. Jack Brown now in the Exterminator out of DeLand, Florida. I mentioned last time out, this is sort of the swan song couple of months for this chassis as far as its time with the Deltona, Florida-based Raising Cane Monster Trucks team of J.R. McNeil. This is the chassis that Jack debuted in 2020, and they've gotten some good use out of it. I'm surprised they're getting rid of it, but they've got some new iron on the way, and of course they're two standby, well-proven Patrick chassis, but we'll see what Jack has. Again, playing spoiler, he had a rough time yesterday in freestyle as he broke a ring and pinion early in the run, making a corner, and he must have stressed it out early in the run. Knock on wood that anything happens to him here today, because he wants to make up for what he felt was a poor performance yesterday. Very disappointed in that run, and he's already putting some real momentum on this track. Jack definitely known for the big air and the wild wheelies. We'll see what he can do. Walking it down the face of the ramp. That was a near perfect sky wheelie. A classic right there from the Exterminator and Jack Brown out of DeLand, Florida. Looks like he's going to head into the outfield. Biggest hit going that way. I think he wanted to work it into a slap wheelie, but it kind of kicked to the right on him. And I hope they have a good landscaper here. They're definitely ripping up some grass out here on the infield of this old dirt track. Coming back for the big one. Nice hit right there for Jack Brown and the heartbeat-powered Exterminator out of Deltona, Florida. Working the track quite well again, though. I think he just got robbed of a slap wheel. He keeps kicking in kind of in odd directions. We'll see what he's got left. Gonna wrap it up right there. Sparks off the front brake rotor. Jack Brown turning him on here in the Palmetto State. The big Florida Ram, the Exterminator, looking good here in competition, and I've got to believe that that takes over the lead again. Nearly perfect sky wheel, really a perfect sky wheel as he walked it down the upside of the ramp. And then these grass-ripping donuts out in the outfield. Look at the big hunks of grass. Look at that score of 21 by 1 point. He will take the lead away from Michaela Tolochka. So Jack Brown right now standing in first place in freestyle. And this could be important as our final two will come up. It's your points leader and the man who is trying to chase him down. Only 3 points separate the two of them. Stay with us.
Listen up. It doesn't matter if you just watch your first show or you're a longtime fan of the sport and you want to know more about monster trucks, well, tune into the Throttle Out Show on Monday and Thursday nights, live on our YouTube channel at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. You'll get the inside scoop and all the behind-the-scenes footage and monster trucks and soon-to-be all other motorsports. Life is better when your foot is to the floor. So remember, when in doubt, throttle out.
Hey, welcome to Wild Man Adventure. We're at the Silver Lake Sand Dragway. There really wasn't any off-roading back then. It was all off-road. We're on our way to Lima, Ohio. Got wooden wheels.
Oh, it's slippery as all get out of it.
Hey, we're here with Rich Cummins. Hey, we're here with Mike Potter. Hey, we're here with Alan Pizzo. Gotta check it out. we're going to go down memory lane.
The Packer Fastener Get-Her Done Ford, Brandon Toluchka, the Patrick Chassis Machine out of Kewanee, Wisconsin, getting the go-ahead from Stacy Jensen, about to kick off what will be the last two freestyles here in Spartanburg. The Get-Her Done Machine out of the Dairy State, very close to a freestyle victory yesterday. We'll see what he's got here this afternoon. Going for the stop. That's probably the best one we've seen all afternoon. Almost got a moonwalk going out of it, but he sets it back down. Now, kicking into high gear. What does Brandon Toluchka have? He's got to throw down the gauntlet for Buddy Tompkins. He ran second yesterday. Got to watch Buddy lay down a tremendous run, but he wasn't able to top him. Can Toluchka throw down a good enough run to block Buddy Tompkins here? Big leap right there as he looks forward at a 3-point gap. He would love to put another 4 or 5 points up on Tompkins as he works the track beautifully right now. Just getting warmed up. This is just the beginning. We will see what Toluchka can do with the rest of this run. I really think they're trying to get some slap wheelies into that outfield. It's just not happening, though, as they're getting some weird bounces off the grass. Let's see what Toluchka has headed back. Look at this, up on two. Toluchka with the two-wheel move he couldn't get in best trick competition. Makes up for it here. That got the adrenaline pumping for sure. He is ready to absolutely throw caution to the wind. A huge leap for the big Ford out of Wisconsin. Huge leap off the race lane. Toluchka putting his foot to it right now. He knows that that big ram is going to come after him with all he's got. Buddy Tompkins, though, has definitely got his work cut out for him right now as Toluchka finishes off what Michaela started by hosing down the camera crew with some rocks. Look at this again. Up on the right-hand side. That was all intentional. That is exactly what he was trying to do earlier in the best trick competition, the bicycle. He got it right there. Then the big air to follow it up. He wasn't going to leave that off the table. If anyone was wondering, he answered the question immediately. Went flying back out of the outfield. And then this massive leap. I think he got more air there for sure than he did off of the rocket ramp as he came flying in. And look at the score, a 29. That leaves only 1 point at the top for Buddy Tompkins. And that could make things very, very interesting in this points chase. If I'm looking at these totals correctly, there is a good chance that these guys can tie going out of this final show of round number 6 as Tompkins stalks around the Piedmont Interstate Fair front stretch here in Spartanburg. You look underneath the drivetrain, the 4-link's about to go to work here on the big ram out of Deltona. That is the little stuff for this truck. This guy is going to throw it down. Look at him sliding into the top end of the track. Tompkins hammering on the big heartbeat engine in the back of the big white ram. Beautiful move right there as he rides down the face, the entry ramp to the race lane. Back-to-back slap wheelies, and that one was perfect, just grazing the wheelie bar a little bit. Buddy Tompkins wants to leave nothing on the table. That was just the warm-up for what's to come next. I believe we are about to see a clinic from this truck. Gotta love the sound of those zoomies coming out from under the bedside. Massive leap for the big white Ram. Look at that, the transmission's already getting hot on this thing. Look at that. Huge hang time off the race lane coming this way. Gonna be a tough decision for the judges. Tompkins definitely serving notice that he does not want to be knocked out of that top spot. Working hard to get up there and keep that lead. Kicking up the dust. What does Buddy Tompkins have left for the crowd here in Spartanburg? Another slap wheel. He's in trouble. Almost put the truck on its top as he clipped the back of one of the popper ramps. Buddy Tompkins working this track hard. Banging into the back of the race ramp, kicking up the dust, and that will be all. Watching some highlights now as we wait on the tabulated scores. That was that first slap wheelie that he made, and again, it was very impressive riding down the race ramp, and then a massive couple of hits off of the rocket ramp over there. We're going to take a look at that now from on board. Watch the hang time looking out the back of the Ram. Launching himself into the track. And then, of course, this wild movie almost got himself in trouble right here. Gets into another slap wheelie and then catches the right rear on the edge of the K-rail on that popper ramp that's been kind of serving as the turn barrier here on our racetrack. Watch it from this angle. Could have ended in catastrophe, but he got on the throttle and brought it back down. Let's watch it from underneath. Watch to the left of your screen. A wild, wild ending to this freestyle. Waiting for the scores to come in, and look at this. Your freestyle champion with the first perfect 30 of the All-Star 2022 season. Buddy Tompkins picks up the freestyle victory, but did not take the overall by 1 point. The Packer Fastener Ford walks out of here with more overall event points, and this is going to make things very, very interesting in the championship chase. There you see Raising Cane with 53, and then all the way down 11 points off is Jack Brown and the Exterminator representing Team Toxic. Then it's Miss Getter Done with 38 points, and the FTI Torque Machine with 30, with a much better showing today than she had yesterday. But check this out. 4-14 now, tied at the top. They came in 1 point apart. Packer Fastener made up that point, and now they sit tied going into round 7 in Tennessee. Then Team Toxic, who was sitting only 47 points off of the number 2 spot, is now 63 points out. But Jack Brown has helped secure Team Toxic an identical 63-point lead on Michaela Toluchka, and Miss Getter Done is holding in at 4th with a 41-point lead on 5th place Jamie Sullivan and FTI Torque. It has been a great weekend here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. If you want to see even more action, check out the All-Star Monster Truck Tour on YouTube. We will see you next time from Tennessee.